Excuse me, miss, got a second? I was wondering if you could see the light that you have in this room. Shining so bright, did you notice? See, we've been sharing thoughts and things remotely. And if you're kinda shy, please don't be, girl. You can put your trust in me, you see. You know it's long overdue for a night like this. 'Cause you are my best when I am the best. And everything just feels right. Take you on a date night, yeah. Put that dress on, girl. Yeah, take you on a date night, yeah. Can we get a date night, take you on a date night, Can we get a date night, Now wait a minute, take a second. Did you notice that God took his time when he made you? Everything is to perfection.
We're on camera? Okay.
Talofa, everyone. Welcome into Budah's Lounge under Everyday People. Yes, don't adjust your focus. Yes, if you're wondering why is there an underwear model sitting next to me, it's the only time I can be proud that I have an underwear model in our family. Yeah, it's the only real one in my family. Look, we're just hitting May, and everybody, I don't know how you're doing with your New Year's resolutions. I don't know how you're doing with your mental health, but this is my cousin Nick, and on Everyday People on Budah's Lounge, we try to invite people that are doing extraordinary things in our community. And Nick, I know you're not one to boast or talk about your exploits, but you know, me and Cindy talked about it. This thing that we're doing, we want to be able to give people their flowers while they're still alive. I don't want to talk about my cousin in passing. Man, he was a great salesman. Man, he could do some good Zumba and mental health. You know, I don't want to talk about you in past terms. I want to be able to, that we look back and say, yeah, you know what? My cousin did come out and talk to me and give me my flowers. And that's all we're really trying to do, you know, because you're not going to do it. You're too humble. You're too humble. So I want to make sure that I shout it from the mountaintops, all the good things that you're doing. And more than that, Nikki, it's a legacy for the kids, that so they can see that there are people that look like them, that sound like them, and they're achieving, they're thriving. Right. And so I just wanted to give you your flowers. That's what today's all about. This is not a gotcha. This is not Maury Povich when it comes to 2-month-old Serenada. You're not the father. Is there a girl named Serenada? No. Okay, I was just checking. I just made that name up. I don't know. You look like you got surprised or something. I was just... But in all honesty, all joking aside, it really is designed to give people their flowers while they're here. I need you to know and hear it from us that you've made a difference in my life. Yeah. You were a spark in my life, and you did inspire me at one time. To take us all the way back, let me just remind everybody that this show is powered by GetMedCard.co. It's the easiest and quickest way to get your medical card at the lowest price. It's $70 right now. This Friday from 1 to 5 o'clock, we'll be at Wholesome Cove. You guys want to stop by for information, and that's probably the best thing to do. Legal. We want everybody to be legal. Anyway, invited my cousin Nick to talk about a bunch of things. But let's start with your origin story, if you will. We always like to champion our culture in a way that everybody can understand. Because, you know, Polynesians will understand us. We don't have to explain that. Right. But it's the people outside. We want them to understand us. We want them to see us. So by that regard, if you wouldn't mind taking us back to the origin story, where do you come from? You know, when Polynesians meet you, hey, are you Polynesian? Are you Samoan? Where are you from? Who's your family? I don't want our kids. Yeah, que Mexico. I don't want our kids to marry you. I want our kids to know we're related. You know, that kind of stuff. and so that everybody also can be proud of their cousin that's the underwear model. Yeah, my cousin.
So yeah.
So tell us a little bit about the background of our families, where you come from in your islands.
Yeah, for sure. So my mom is actually Samoan, and so long story short, my biological mom is Taumaya, and I was adopted when I was 5 to Francella, and they're sisters, and so I have the Samoan side, and then my Tongan side is the Kaufusis, so the Olives, that side. And I didn't really meet my Tongan side till I was 16. Yeah, it was interesting story.
That sounds like a culture shock. Please tell me you grew up.
No, yeah. So yeah.
Wait. I gotta ask only because I want to hear this other part. So up until 16, you just thought you were Samoan. You didn't know that you had Tongan in you?
Well, I knew I had Tongan in me, but I grew up on my Samoan side.
Okay.
And so we got to a point where I was at high school. I went to West, grew up in Rose Park. And I was going to class, and then when I went to class, I had my cousin. Her name is Saini Lavulo, back in the day. So met up with her in class. She looked at me and she was like, "You look so familiar." And I said, and I was like, "Oh. So she goes, "So what are you Samoan, Tongan?" And I said, "What I do know is I have Tongan, but I haven't met my Tongan side yet." She goes, "You look just like my uncle." I said, she goes, "Do you know who your dad is?" And I was like, "Well, I do know is that his name is Moses." And she just dropped and she was like, "What in the world? That's my uncle." So long story short, she introduced me to the family on the Tongan side. They had the Pacific Seas out there, and by the Little Caesars in Glendale.
Yeah.
That's where they were at. That's when I first met Auntie Letty at that time. Family Samoan and Tongan. On my Samoan side, it's the Lavatais and the Ionos. And that's
where we connect.
That's how we're connected.
Yeah.
So I always tell people, "Hey, Big Budah's my cousin." It's like, yeah, whatever. Everybody's your cousin.
He's my real cousin, dude. Actually, I'm the one who claims it. Nikki's my cousin. Like, yeah, whatever, dude. Everybody says there's the cousin, whatever.
Yeah, so that's where the family side. So yeah, I'm half Samoan and half Tongan.
Yeah, it's really. Thank you for sharing that. See, Samoans and Tongans can get along. Hun, high five.
We can get along.
Anyways, what's a panther?
Always a panther. You already know.
Obviously, we're related on the Samoan side. Shout out to Auntie Flanchella and the Iono Lavatai side. We didn't meet until much older when we're adults, you know. But you know what? To your credit, you have not treated me any different. Once you knew we were related, you were always treating me like family. So I really do appreciate that, cousin. And likewise, we are cousins through and through for sure. What I was so proud of when we first met was because it was in a professional setting. I was working at Verizon, and I'm just a young kid. I'm a young kid. I said I'm a young kid. I got a family. I'm hungry. I'm doing radio part-time. I'm like, forgive me for saying this. I don't mean this at all being facetious, and I'm not trying to throw any shade. But somebody said to me back then, "You work like a Jamaican," because I had like 3 jobs. I didn't know what that meant, but somebody had said that to me. I was working at the radio station, I was working at Verizon, and I was working at Discover. And I'm getting trained. I'm walking through the halls, and I think his name is Keith Black. Keith Black says to me, "Oh, I can't wait to introduce you to our trainer. He's amazing. He's so charismatic, and he's a handsome guy, man." I mean, they were just talking you up, and I didn't know it was you. So I'm walking into the room. All of a sudden, I hear this like professional voice. I hear like, "Yes, man, just for 60 months, you can close." And remember, you just have the APR. You'll have to close at $175. If you cancel your account, we'll have to charge you $175. But why would you want to cancel your account? Huh? We're the best. I heard that, and I was like, who is that? When I connected the voices, I knew that all the good things that these guys were talking about were about you. They were talking about how professional you were, how friendly you were. It made me proud. And I didn't even have to tell them that you were my cousin then, you know. But afterwards, when you had clout, I was like, that's my cousin. I
That
was
works-
using it.
Isn't that interesting how that works sometimes? When they have clout, all of a sudden they're your cousin.
But you were. As soon as I knew you were my cousin, like,
And then if they have no clout,
okay, you know
they're out
what? That's don't. Why you got to bring that up for? Why? Sorry, Phil Filimuatu. Sorry about that, bro. Scotty, hey, give me some. Give
Let's
me
say
some.
salt.
Okay, salt. But did you know then that was kind of your gift? That you could have the gift of gab, not dishonesty. I'm not saying that because sometimes people relate like that old used car salesman, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't put you that in that. I give a person who's honest and uses emotions and his connection with people.
Right.
Tell me about what do you love about sales and why are you so good at it?
I mean, we grew up on chess. So I'm not like
Chess with two S's or chess with a T?
No.
Where you're from Rose Park, I don't know which one you're talking about.
We used to play chess all the time, just, growing up in the family. And so that was kind of our thing. And so I love strategies. I love, it's like you're taking them through a funnel and then at the end of that, you get the sale, right? Okay. So I'm very strategic that way when I think about things. And so it's been like when you do sales, I'm all about, I believe in processes and authenticity of who you are and your personality. And don't get me wrong, Big Buddha was #1 customer satisfaction at Verizon Wireless. So when we're talking about someone that has the gift of gab, it's really him. But yeah, so that part, I just love the sales process and the journey. Mm-hmm. I love challenges like that. I love the fact of, talking to people, helping them out, providing them service. And then at the end of the day, it's like, hey, it's really up to them if they want to make the decision of moving forward or not. So I just like the strategic avenues of things and the processes. My adrenaline goes up. That's why I love what I do. I like to hunt. Mm-hmm. I like to kill. So.
Do you remember there's a movie, Vin Diesel did a movie. I want to say it was The Boiler Room. Do you remember that? Do you remember that movie?
Yes, I do.
Okay, I'm not saying that's what you guys, but I remember how they would go after the sale. It wasn't really about the money. They weren't chasing the money. It was the thrill of the chase and the thrill of closing on something they believed on, selling it to somebody else, right?
Yes.
I connected that, and so for me early on as a young entrepreneur, I saw that movie early on. It helped me a little bit get out of my shell.
Right.
I didn't employ any of those things, obviously, if you understand the movie, but that movie really did help me break out of my shell as far as like talking to people on the phone.
Oh yeah.
It really did help me out. Yeah. Is there something like that helped you out, or did you always naturally have this gift to connect?
The gift of connect, I feel that that comes to me naturally. But to learn a new system or doing something, I'm all about duplication. So, I got into this type of sale and coaching sales from good friends of mine. I was introduced Nella Otuafi.
Shout out, yes.
And Taese and Sifa. So they introduced me to the industry, and Will Kelsel. So they all introduced me to the industry. And, I was working at Verizon Wireless with you. And then they were like, hey, you know what? Let us introduce you to this. Come check this out. Come check out what we do.
Yeah.
So I got into sales with them because I was working as customer service. When I got into sales and then just closing off of one deal and I just saw the commission on that, I was like, oh, I'm not going back in at all.
Be your own boss. There was so many other positives that came with it, right?
Absolutely. Flexibility. Time, obviously I was a workaholic. Back then it was just, we were on cubicles. Yeah.
I'm sure people are surprised that you're here. They're like, how did he get him? You know how hard it was to get this dude to come here?
My apologies, cuz.
Yeah, sure. Sorry. Yeah, that's, every time I call him, it's, bro, I can't come. We'll get to that part. I'm just setting it up. It's layers, guys. There's layers to this thing. No, I'm jokingly saying, I know you're very busy. We're very grateful for you taking time out, but I wanted to set it up that way because I think those things that you did early on are continuing to happen in this thing that you're known for. A lot of people don't know about the sales side, but I say that that's the foundation of your Zumba success. As I can clearly tell from you, like you just said, you like processes, you like challenges, you like changes. And my question was going to be, why are you doing something that takes a lot of your time when you're so successful at something that you do so little time at? You spend little time on sales and you're very successful at it. My question would be, how come you don't spend more time there?
Yeah.
And you're spending a lot of time on this one. So I want you to marinate on that for a little bit. We're going to take a break. We'll play a song and a music video, but just wanted to remind everybody again that this is live. Please click, like, and share. And if you're a Vakapuna, if you're a Lavatai, if you're a Iono, you're related to this guy, okay? Just, and the Kaufusis, all right? The T's and the S's are alive and well. We'll be right back, okay? Don't move muscle. Yeah.
Yesterday, I found an angel. She holds my heart within her wings. I found an angel. I found an angel. She fell from heaven yesterday. I found an angel. She holds my heart within her wings. I found an angel, and she is all that I need.
Yeah, I haven't heard that name in a long time. Sorry. Talofa, welcome back, man. We're going down memory lane here. It's a crazy. We're just talking about. Welcome back in. We're talking with salesman extraordinaire. That's what he likes to call him, but he's more than that. He's a life coach. He also does some fitness, and also because you do dabble in fitness, that means you also help out with mental health. So we're going to get to that. The question I left you off with was about, that excellence and that drive you have for business. And then, you don't spend a lot of time on your sales stuff, on your day job. Let's call it your day job. And because you're really good at it. You spend a lot of time on this other thing. And I'm not saying that it's bad, but the American dream, or the typical American would say, Nikki, why wouldn't you spend more time on this thing that would give you so much more money and you're really good at it, and you're spending your time doing this? Where do you fall in that? Maybe you could drop some knowledge, some nuggets for the younger generation.
That's a great question, man. I think for me it's more of, having a good balance in a sense. I think when I first started in sales, it was very unbalanced because you get addicted. I have an addictive personality. Let's just put it that way.
Okay.
So when I focus on something, I want to be the best at it. That's why I only can have a couple of hobbies at a time. But
Wow.
I play.
Y'all taking notes? Let's take notes. No. It's sometimes we spread ourselves thin. I just heard
Yes.
one great nugget already.
Yes.
Less is more.
Yes.
Okay.
So that's number one. So I play a lot of racquetball back in the day.
Oh, I hate you right now. Why you got to bring that up, bro?
We want to
This guy
talk about the
dominate.
court?
Stop it. This guy dominate, man. I hate you on racquetball. Anyway, I'll bring racquetball back. I'm gonna come back to racquetball. Go ahead, continue.
But I think for me it was more of pursuing something that you love doing and having a good balance. Because you can make all the money in the world, but if you're not happy with what you're doing, if you're not happy where you're at, it's more of that. inside, right?
So are you? So can I just say? So
Yeah.
I'm not interrupting. Is this? It sounds like you're just using this thing, even though you're amazing and good at it, as the fuel for your family's things, for your dreams. I don't know. Tell me. Put me on game.
Yeah, it's just what it is. It's like some people pursue a lot of, you can make great money, you can do everything, but there's something within you. In order for you to perform at that level, it starts with right here, right? It starts with you and working on you.
Yeah.
Like, energy wise, when you work out, you feel great. There's a reason why during those times we took those 2-hour breaks before we jump on sales calls.
Yes.
It's because mentally it helps us out to be able to prepare for a sales call.
Yeah. Is it
Energy
true? Is it
wise.
still true with you? Energy is neither created nor destroyed, just transferred.
Absolutely.
Are you still a believer on that?
I'm a believer on that for sure.
Yeah.
Energy can be transferred, and that's why you got to surround yourself with positive people. Because at the end of the day, what it comes down to is you surround yourself with people that are not very like-minded and very negative. It's just you just don't want to be around that.
And in the business, now we're actually now transitioning into being a Zumba instructor or a fitness instructor. You're the head of the class. You're at the focal point of everybody's eyeballs. How do you continue to maintain that even on a tough day? I'm not talking about the good day where everything is aligned, the stars are aligned. I want to know on the tough day, how do you push through so that you're good for your clients?
That's a great question because it's reversed. Like, if you think about it, I need that for my mental health.
Seriously?
Yeah, it's part of, for me, it's like when I have a bad day, when I teach a class, it's not only for the students, it's for myself as well.
Wow.
Does that make sense? So when the music plays and right when the rhythm hits and you feel that first beat going through, I just forget about everything. Mentally, it's just like, okay, it's on. So I'm pretty sure for a lot of entertainers, performers, they feel the same where they're in their element.
Yeah.
So when you're in your element and you're doing what you love doing and you're passionate about what you're doing, like people say, oh, you're working. It's not even work to me. Like I don't even look at, I don't even clock in sometimes. It's just what it is. Cause at the end of the day, it's something that I'm passionate about doing. And not only is it helping hundreds of people, but it's also helping
Hundreds,
myself.
thousands. This guy's being so humble right now.
Seriously.
Hundreds, yeah. No, seriously, Nick, I am very proud of the work you're doing, especially in this day and age where mental health is such an important topic. And it's a topic that our people, one, don't talk about, and even less people talk about it when you talk about Polynesian men. So if a guy look, anybody, I'm just focusing on Polynesians because that's our people. If it takes for dancing for a guy to not be angry, for a guy not to go off, if maybe dancing or whatever it is, I encourage that. I want them to go find that.
Right.
I don't know if it's Zumba, but let's try it.
Yeah.
A lot of us like to drink kava. A lot of us like to go dancing. I'm saying let's try to find those things that we could do with our partners that invite good mental health space, right?
Right.
I want to ask, just because this is a question people think about, because you're dealing with the opposite sex sometimes. How do you separate business with, how do you keep your emotions in check when you're working in such a close, intimate space with clients?
This all doesn't work because I've been married for 22 years, my man.
Yeah.
So this doesn't really work without my wife being confident in who she is. Let's just put it that way.
Another nugget. Let's write this down, guys.
So,
Write this down.
You got to imagine her position, and when she's looking at this, and she's looking at there's a bunch of beautiful women that I'm dancing in front of, and you have to have a confident woman on your side to allow to be able to make it work.
Yeah.
Because there's when I hear people and they're like, "How do you do it?" or "How is it that you're performing a bunch of women?" You know what I mean? And the thing is like, cause I know with my wife, she doesn't even worry about it. Like she's very confident when she's very supportive. So I'm very fortunate that way because it's not always the case for everybody else.
It's not as easy as it looks.
It's not easy as it looks.
Yep, got you, cousin.
So, when you're going up there and I'm going on stage and to be able to, I'm up there, I'm not really you think I might be looking at someone, but I'm not really looking at them.
I know what you're saying. It's
I
blurry.
look towards the back, it's blurry.
It's blurry. Thank you. Give me some. Finally somebody understands me. Oh my God.
It's blurry, like, you understand, like,
blurry
you're
to the
there,
hell.
you might be talking to thousands of people, and you're not really focused, you're just focusing in the back, but you're just thinking, okay, hey.
I have been, it's hard to explain that. I really couldn't, I thought,
Yeah.
for a minute, I started believing other people like, nah, you full of shit. I'm like, no, I really am. I don't see nothing. You know what I mean? Just because people don't. And I'm just glad that you said that, because that's the way I look at stuff too. I'm in the entertainment business too, and it can get, the spaces, your bubbles can get crossed sometimes.
Right.
And so I agree with you. If you do not have one fine, confident woman in your background, shit, you better go sell some oranges. You better go sell some oranges. I'm telling you. But again, you as a male too, you have the confidence knowing that she right behind me.
Absolutely.
I'm not afraid because I'm doing my job. There's nothing here. There's nothing nefarious. There's nothing. This is me and my wife. We're moving in the same space. Even though you see me dancing, I hope you see me and my wife. Or does that make sense?
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. When I'm up on stage, I don't even think about things. I'm not really in a box. Mm-hmm. I am who I am. And so when I'm dancing, if there's a twerk movement, I will do a twerk movement.
Yeah.
If there's a hip thrust movement, I will do a hip thrust movement.
I heard, did you hear that sound? There was this sound on the internet. It came from all the tones. Go ahead to work.
Isn't that interesting? It's because the way that I grew up is like, kind of in that box of, kind of being a little bit conservative in a sense of trying to express who you are and what you're all about. And
being Mormon and Samoan and Polynesian are very, very tough.
Yes.
I know that. I knew that.
And so, because you're always thinking, okay, there could be judgments coming in. But for me, I really don't care. Like, I'm going to do what I do. I make people happy. After class, when it's done, they just, I've got a lot of students that would cry at the moment. And they would say, I've never been in an environment like this where I could be myself.
Oh, man.
And I just got through a hard day. And when they come in that environment, when they're done, they go back home and they just, they feel very positive. They want to attack life. It's amazing.
And that's the reward. That's the reward right there. That's you're affecting change.
Absolutely.
I really am proud of you. And to answer the question you probably want to ask, how come we haven't come to your class? There's levels. There's levels to fitness. And I would say, you know how Shrek said that he's like an onion?
Yeah.
And open up? Oh. Well, we're way inside where you have to really open up. I don't know if I have the fitness or the patience to do your class. I'm not there yet.
Well, that's okay.
Do you encounter people like this?
Yes.
This is good. Okay.
This is normal.
Talk to me.
So what you're saying is this is you telling yourself this is your self-projection.
No,
I'm just saying.
Here we go. We're doing therapy. We're doing family therapy right now.
Because there's something in there that told you that you can't do that, but knowing who Budah is, you're not someone that's in that box. I think, and you go to dances. I mean, I think me growing up, and that's just all I was telling you. I grew up in a family of entertainers. So, growing up, I was my mom's dance partner at the church dances. She'll take me everywhere.
Yeah.
And I used to always dance with her and other older ladies. Yeah. It's just what it is. I was comfortable with that. So from that point on, growing up, going out to, we had dance groups together. You know what I mean? I won't say some of the names that are in there. They might be like, oh, come on, why'd you drop my...
another minute. I can't wait another
they had
minute
Buster Rock,
for your love. Whatever. I saw those movies.
There's a lot of groups in there. And so we get to a point where, in high school, I was part of a group called the Rose Park Breakers.
Oh, I was you to say drill team.
Well, hey, it's all good. They're doing their thing. No, no hate.
No shade. Y'all put us on the map.
I'll tell you one
Yeah.
thing. They knew how to
Yeah.
execute.
Baby,
The way they did
baby,
it, oh
baby.
man.
Yeah, they was like,
they knew how to execute.
Oh, yeah.
So I got nothing but love for that. And then not only that, like you think about that, and then I used to dance a lot in the the Polynesian clubs. We used to go do the dances there. So I went to when we got married. I danced at PCC. So that was more of, dancing too.
Yeah.
So almost all my life I've danced. And that's what I love doing. And so when you think about that, it's just like everything came to this moment of me just coming here. And honestly, I didn't think I was going to be a Zumba instructor, man. Like my brother Leo took me to a first Zumba class out in Glendale with the EMZ.
If our family were all to make a vote and we all thought who's going to be the Zumba instructor, we would have thought Lee was going to be the Zumba instructor, right? But
he was actually a Zumba instructor. He was the one that introduced me a little bit to Zumba, and so I got into it. He took me to EMZ. They were wearing
EMZ, oh my gosh, you took us all the way back.
Yeah.
I forgot about
and
that.
They had their get-togethers out there in Glendale.
In Glendale at the community center.
Yep.
Yeah,
community center.
that's
so
right.
Everybody was over there.
I don't know who it was, but there was always a girl blowing the whistle.
Oh, wait. Who was that? Oh, that's Bakapuna? Betty.
Oh, that's Cindy. That's Cindy's cousin. Sorry. Yeah, it was. She was. I remember her on the.
She had the whistle
because we come
She
out with
knew how to
Fox.
whistle.
I came out
Blow the
early
whistle.
morning, and she was like.
Blow the whistle.
And I was like, we're doing cricket. Who's doing Samoan cricket over here? Yeah, but it was a fun time. I do remember. Now I remember. That's right. Liu was out there doing that. I wanted to say this. It sounds like mom set you up. For what you got. She took you to dances and made it comfortable. That was the beginning, and you're still continuing.
Yeah, I'm still dancing.
She gave you the right proper rules of engagement, how to do it, and you've made a living out of it. I hear that you're getting a lot out of it too. I know you're doing it for your students and you want to help the students and your clients, but it sounds like you're getting a lot out of these experiences too. Anybody who's thinking about trying something with movement, like your class, like a guy, our typical poly guys who are shamed. Here's what I hear and here's what I feel. I don't want to go to these classes because I don't want people to think that I'm there to look at. Right? That's how our people think. That's our mentality. How do we battle that as an instructor? How do you tell them this is what you need to do because that's not what you're about? Right? Yeah. How do we try to change that barrier?
I think it comes down for themselves. They gotta. When I get a lot of that, like men will come. I was like, man, I want to come, but I just feel kind of out of place because there's a lot of women.
Yeah.
I said, okay, that's cool. And I said, well, wouldn't you rather be in a place where there's a lot of women? And they started laughing, right? And then they said, well, and I said, well, no, think about it this way. Anybody that comes to the class, it's something that's new for you. So I don't expect you to start professionally and think that you're gonna come in and get it. There's guys in my class, my tonight class at EOS, it's almost like 50-50. I'll let you know, just
really?
Yeah, of men.
Wow.
And so the thing is that there's a lot of guys that are in my classes now, but a lot of them, they just come in, they stay in their own lane, they're in the back. Once they feel a little bit more comfortable, they start moving up. Just like a lot of the women.
Oh.
So you stay in the back, kind of get used to how I teach, how I cue. Then once they feel a lot more comfortable, then they can move up, and it's up to them.
Yeah.
I mean, but I do want more Polynesians in my classes for sure. Like I would say the majority is Latin and Balinese, and you know what I mean. But I think probably like I have my go-to people like the Sinai and Lovely and the family, the whole family there. They were there from the beginning, right?
Can I ask, because the Zumba, is Zumba a style or technique, or is it the music?
It's both.
Okay.
I would say it's more of like when you're talking about music. So just to give you a heads up, how this all started and the reason why I wanted to teach Zumba was because when I dated my wife, I used to take her out Latin dancing all the time. So we used to go to Latin clubs.
Okay.
So that's how.
The forbidden dance.
Sorry.
Yeah. He's a dancer of many dances.
So I took her out. We used to go, clubbing as much as we could.
Yeah.
We used to go to the clubs and we used to go Latin dancing. And this is before she even came home from her mission, right? I used to go Latin dancing all the time.
Yeah.
And then when she got home, I took her out Latin dancing. She fell in love with it.
And that was it.
And that was it. That was it. And so instead of us trying to make it to a club all the time, I said, you know what? Zumba already has a lot of the Latin rhythms. So it already has the merengue, cumbia, bachata, salsa. So a lot of those Latin rhythms, I was already in love with it.
Right? Yeah.
So I was like, okay, well, hey, I should go, teach. And I had a good inspiration of an instructor. She inspired me to get my certification.
Right.
And she says, and then Lindsay would tell me, and Lindsay Islas would tell me, hey, you should get certified. It's going to be and it took me about a year to get certified because I wasn't very comfortable with it at the time. So when I got certified, I started online during COVID. That was my first class.
Wow, during COVID?
Yeah, during COVID. So during COVID, I taught on Facebook, Zumba and Beyond.
Yeah.
And I used to teach classes on that, and that's what allowed me to practice. So when I practiced, and then when I got hired through Vasa hired me. And then during that time was a weird situation because you had to be 6 feet apart.
Oh my gosh, I remember that, yeah.
You had to be 6 feet apart. And so when I was teaching, it was like, okay, 6 feet apart. But it got to a point where, it started to get packed and people were following the rules.
Yeah.
So they weren't following the rules. And I was just like, well, I'm just here to teach, right? I let Vasa deal with that. So the other thing is that, from there, then you get to a point where you have your people that were there from the beginning, and it just starts getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And right now, it's been about 5 years or going on 6 years since I've been teaching.
Now the reason why great answers to what I'm trying to get to, because of your background also in Polynesian dancing. Is it possible? Maybe I don't know if you've been working on it or not. Do you have a program that's like a Zumba, but with Polynesian moves, with Polynesian maneuvers from our dances, from our culture? Is it possible to do something like that and make it work out?
You can mix it in. Like we have some instructors.
Okay.
Matter of fact, there was a Polynesian instructor. She's from Hawaii. She's now well known in the Zumba world, and she won a competition. And she includes a lot of the Polynesian movements into some of the Latin songs too.
Yeah, okay.
And so it's something that you can mix in. As a matter of fact, there's another instructor in Saratoga Springs, Hawaii. She'll put on some hip movements and bring in the Tahitian movements into some of the songs.
Now that leads me to my next question. Is that okay in the Zumba community, or is it frowned upon where they're like, hey, that's not Zumba, you shouldn't do that?
Great question. Zumba has evolved from the first time that I started.
Okay.
So now, instead of just being a lot of Latin rhythms, they've included Afrobeat songs, hip hop, things like that. So it's not your, how
it's not your mom's. It's not your mom's class, right?
Yeah, from back in the day.
Back in the day.
So now it's evolved a lot, where there's a lot more other rhythms that you can implement into it.
Well, in the sounds, there's like you said, you have a night class that's almost 50% men, 50% women. To me, I'm surprised at that number, seriously.
Yeah.
So that tells me that there is change happening, and it's getting more comfortable. And it's really about fitness and mental health. People are saying, you know what, I may not be comfortable with being in a crowd, but my mental health and my fitness are more important. I'm gonna start in the back.
Yeah.
I'm gonna figure out the way to get it done.
Yeah, and for you on your end, when you're talking about for men to come in, like it's just come in and they just stay in their own lane, they just do their thing, and then after that they just leave. But they're in it for the workout for sure, right? So anybody that's looking to come to my classes, it is packed. I will let you know. There might not, then that's the biggest thing, is that sometimes people don't have room to dance and they feel intimidated because of that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, what I try to incorporate in my classes, it's a safe space. You know what I mean? Be
So
who
even
you
though we're
are.
next to each other,
Yeah.
got you.
It's a safe space. So when you're coming into it, like I want people to be who they are. You know, let loose. Just do your thing.
Now, along those lines, do you have a remote class? Do people have a, let's say people come to your class, they do love it, but you know what, I'm still not ready for the in-person stuff. You know what, I'm gonna just sign up online. I'm gonna take Nick's class online. Is there an online version?
We are working on that right now, on the online version. It's been a lot of changes happening with that. But yeah, so I don't have that up yet.
Okay.
But when I do, I'll keep you posted. Yeah, but yeah, it's but for online stuff, for people that want to go on there, that's great. If you ever want to look at the choreos, because I'll post up new choreos. If you go to Zumba Therapist under the Instagram, that's typically where I'll post up a lot of my new choreos.
Can you talk a little bit about that, since you said the word therapist, how people can use this as their physical therapy? I've often heard people say, look, if you're going through something, sprint as fast as you can for as far as you can. When you get there, you're going to be so out of breath that you won't think about that mental problem or whatever is angst, causing you angst.
Yeah.
Is Zumba dancing, can that be an outlet for people if that's something they're looking for?
That's why I called it therapist, as Zumba Therapist. Now, when you look online, it goes Zumba. It looks like Zumba the Rapist. So make sure you be careful on that.
I didn't want to bring that up, but did you know it looks like Zumba the Rapist?
But yeah,
For Samoan pulls it out. Sully, did you look at a website? Sully, well, I'm not on a website. Sully.
But yeah, it's Zumba. It's a Zumba therapist. But the reason why I call it that, the reason why I put my title as that, was because many students after class will say, this is therapeutic, right? This is something where I come to, I get into my own space. This is something that's going to help me out with my mental health.
Man.
And helps me get through the week. So whatever it is and that's why they call it, it's therapy for them. Instead of, talking to someone and talking it out, this is their way of therapy physically.
Man, I really do like. We're gonna take one more break. We'll continue our conversation. I want to ask you about in the dancing world. With the Zumba moves, can you take your Zumba moves to the club? We'll come back. We'll talk about it. I don't know if you can do the sprinkler anymore, but we're gonna find out if the Zumba moves are good for the club. That's next.
Kissing on your caramel skin, just like the ocean breeze, playing through your hair and out your wind. Something about that coconut scent that lingers on me when you walk by. Every step that you take, my love is deeper than the ocean tide. Oh, I ain't even gotta tell you twice to let your head down. Anytime and place you need me, I'll be around. So make sure that your heart will never touch the ground. Baby, you're the only reason I come around. I'm the one that you can call on, not just for the weekends. We can make it last forever, I know what you're thinking. You ain't gotta search no more, baby, I've been what you're seeking. And it's through the nighttime, till the sun be creeping up. We can be the talk around town. Baby, I'ma hold it down. We can be the talk around town. I'ma hold it down, down. Hold on, baby, tell me exactly what you wanna do.
Yeah, if they ever want to.
Sorry. We are back. We're talking. No, I know it probably sounds like I'm trying to get a free hookup. That's not what I was asking my cousin for. You guys came in on the wrong part of the conversation. I'm not asking for a free hookup.
And it's all good. If you did,
I
got you.
I'm not asking for
Hey, I got you.
No, stop. I was not asking for a hookup. Y'all came in when I was asking for you guys. I was asking if there's a drop-in class. Can somebody come in? I wasn't asking for me, man.
I got you, man.
No, Sully, I don't need a free class. No, seriously. Welcome back into the show. We've been having a great conversation with my cousin Nick Masina. He's the Zumba therapist. And yes, if you're looking for a new way, maybe the second half of the year for your New Year's resolutions that's where it's at. Maybe it's not the first half. It's still 2025. You still have some time to jump on, right?
Yes.
Can you talk a little bit about that? If there is a client or someone out there that says, you know what, I didn't fulfill my New Year's resolution, and instead of saying, you know what, F it, I'm gonna wait till the next January, you could still start next week or next month. Don't give up on the dream yet. You still have a whole lot of year left.
Yeah.
What do you say to people like that?
It's a choice for sure. Like, listen,
your own fault.
everybody, you can make your New Year's resolution or whatever. I don't believe in that New Year's resolution, bro.
I love the realism. No, give it to me straight. Don't sugarcoat it. That's your own fault.
No, either they have the las ganas. Like in Spanish, they'll say las ganas. If you either have it or you don't. But at the same time, I think the biggest thing for people that are just getting started, and just to give you a heads up on my journey. So when I first, I was at 333 pounds. No, serious. So if you're looking to get into the fitness world, like I would always recommend to surround yourself with killers. And what I mean by that is people that are lions in the gym. So surround yourself with people that love working out. I mean, I love working out. But I first started, and rest in peace to my man, Vili Ngata.
Oh.
So he got me into working out 5 o'clock in the morning, bro.
D1?
So
Did you guys a D1?
Yeah. Well, he never took me to D1.
Yeah.
We were at the
He was
Vasa
at
at
that
the
level.
Riverton.
No, I know what you're talking about, yes.
So we have our 5 a.m. crew. And Doug that was over here in the guy's show, he was part of it. And we used to work out every morning. So we worked out from Monday through Friday, right? Got to Friday. This is the first week when I would start working out with him. So on Friday, I said, okay, what are we going to do on Monday? He said, Monday? What are you talking about Monday? You coming back tomorrow. So 6 days out of the week, we were working out. Wow. 6 days out of the week. But the reasons why I say that to find yourself a good group is because there's that accountability, right? He would call me up, like, seriously, it was like 5 o'clock in the morning, call me up 4:30. My wife would be like, who's calling? And you know who that is.
Let me
That's
see.
Vili calling me up. He said if we're coming through.
Yeah.
And it's good to have that. It's good to have a workout group. So if if you're struggling to get to the gym, so that's one of the things is have a group that whether it be at church or some people, friends that that go work out in the morning. Pair yourself up with people like that, because then there's that accountability, and then when you get to the gym, all I did, I just follow exactly what Vili told me to do. I didn't have to overthink things. He just told me, hey, boom. They were putting on 5 plates. I was like, bro, what are you talking about? He's like, dude, I don't even do that. Yeah. He was like, don't worry, time will come. And the thing is, you start to see yourself progress. So that weight dropped to 75. He was
the smallest of all his brothers, but he was really strong.
Oh,
I remember
bro,
that.
He's a beast, bro. Like, even with his size, when you play ball with him, it's like he goes post down low. Yeah. I'm like, oh man, who in the world is in front of me?
Yeah, I know because his brothers played in the NFL, but he had the athleticism. You could feel it that he had battled older brothers.
Oh no, and he would just hold me accountable. Really doesn't talk much, man. You know what I'm saying? He'll just talk. I mean, but he gets stuff done, and that's why I love this. So yeah, so your question about when to start, find yourself a group that can hold you accountable to get to the gym, right?
Yeah.
And then if you do that, you follow exactly what I typically, when I go to the gym, I look at somebody that I want to look like, and I ask them what are they doing, and then I go work out with them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's typically what I do.
That's a great example and some advice. How do you address someone who comes to you and says, look, I want to come here for physical fitness and mental health, but I'm not a dancer. I'm sure you get people that say that I just can't dance. Please help me out. Well, how do you say to them and get them to come to at least take the class and discover it on their own?
I think the biggest thing is like for people that are coming into my class for the first time, be patient with yourself. I would say give yourself about 4 classes to try out on mine in a row to really feel like if it's something that's for you or not. The thing is, people want to be good at it right out the gate at times. And the thing is, it doesn't work that way. So pretty much in Zumba, when we're cueing, we try to simplify the process. When I do my choreos and I create choreos, I try to make it as if 8-year-olds could do it. You know what I mean?
Choreo's
Like,
a chain of movements?
yes. So when I do choreos and I create the choreos, mentally, I'm normally creating most of my choreos in the car. So when I'm driving or anything like that, and
Sure, don't give away all the secrets. We spend hours on the choreo. Come on, if you learn nothing from your cousin, man, I drafted this choreo, I tested this choreo, and it's perfect. It's perfect. Don't tell him you just created it in the car. It's my cousin. He's too honest. He's too honest, this one.
nah, keep it real though. No, it's and most of my students, they know my choreos better than I do.
Wow.
So I forget a lot of choreo. I create a lot of things, but sometimes I have that ADHD, man. Like my mind goes all over the place.
It's a family thing we have, I know. Jeez. No, and you know, with all kidding aside, I just want to say thank you for coming on the show. Really, it was for, I wanted to share with the world the amazing person that you are, the humble, kind-hearted person that you are, but you're making such a big noise. I wanted to just give you your flowers. You're affecting change in a way that not even a lot of therapists are doing, just because our people are still slow to go to therapy. So I would like to say, if this is the least amount of therapy you can get, try it. It's 4 classes. Let's try 4 classes, see how you feel. Maybe it does something. Maybe we lose a couple of pounds in the process. When are your classes? When is the best time to sign up if I'm new to the space?
If you're new to the space, if you ever want to come to my classes, just message me on Instagram. I'll have you try a pass. I think at Vasa you actually could get a free day pass, things like that. So I'll guide you in the right direction. And then I teach on Monday nights, Wednesday nights. So Monday nights at EOS at 7:30, South Jordan. Wednesday nights at Vasa at 7:30. That's club night, so we'll turn off the lights.
Oh.
You know.
If you can't afford to go to the other club, come to this club. Solely.
Yep. So you have that. So that we'll call it club night, and then Friday morning at 10 a.m. at South Jordan Vasa, and then I work at Lifetime.
Man, you busy, bro. Holy, I knew you were busy. Holy satake.
So Lifetime, I teach over there 10:15 on Saturdays, 10:15, and then Sunday I teach at 11 to 12. So at Riverton Vasa.
With all the mental health, with all of the physical fitness and activities, what about our senior citizens? I just want to ask this because we do have older parents and uncles and aunties, and could this be something that they could look into that could, maybe extend their life a little bit, the longevity, give them a better quality of life towards the end of our family's life? What could you say to that a little bit?
Yeah, for that, my class has all age groups.
Okay.
So we have individuals that are in there like in their 70s, 80s. So they're in there and they just move at their own pace. See, there's nobody looking at you and judging you the way you're moving. And that's what I'm talking about, the safe, creating a safe space is coming in, being free, letting go, right? So we have of all age groups. I mean, there's a Zumba Gold for, older folks and our senior citizens, but those people that are in there, they still come to my class and then they go to that class.
Got you.
So they go at their own pace.
Is the social media, is there a website that we can just send people to? Is it just the Zumba therapist?
Yeah, it's just going on my Instagram, Zumba therapist is where I'm at. And then you could just follow my schedule there. I'll always post up every week. Schedule if you guys ever want to come through. I would say that if you're barely getting started, my
Which is your easiest
advice.
class? Yeah, yeah. Which is your easiest class?
They're all easy.
Okay, you know what? I can't.
They're all easy.
Leo, call me, Leo. I want to go to class with you. So please click like, share, follow my cousin, and maybe it could be a resource of help and health for you. In closing, we like to ask funny and fun questions. Out of all the Latin dances that you use for your Zumba classes, which dance would best describe you and why? Which dance?
What did you come up with? You just
Look,
really come up with that?
You don't even ask me right now, okay? If you could be one of those dances, which one would it be and why?
Okay, so one of my favorites is bachata.
I like those. They taste real. I always get it
Not
from,
that horchata.
Oh, sorry.
Sully.
No, sorry, I get it with double wrapped, everything. Sorry.
But the bachata, it's a really simple movement. It does remind me of our culture in terms of the hips.
Can you show me one movement?
Huh?
Can you show me one movement?
Are you for real?
One movement.
Okay.
Just one movement.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Cindy wasn't ready for it. Just one tiny movement. Sorry, one movement.
Here we go. I'm losing this thing.
Yeah, it's okay. Just one tiny movement.
So, it's very similar.
What, we only want the hips. The hips don't lie. Just the hips. Just showing the hips.
Oh, are you putting it up or?
No. It only shows the hips. It's just the hips. Just
Oh.
right here. Just show one hip.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Turn around. Turn around.
Okay.
Turn around.
So,
Yeah, sorry.
Okay.
Sorry. We're gonna take this out. Sorry, hun.
Here we go. All right. So,
Okay.
are we facing the camera? Or
No, I'm gonna be here so they know I'm looking at your hips. Go ahead. Show me your move.
Come on, man. So, okay, movement this way, we're going that way, okay?
Okay.
So, it's a step, and then what you want to do is you're going to pop your hip, like, like the hula. It's like a, like a pop the coconut.
Pop the coke.
Pop the coconut.
I know how to pop the coconut. Okay.
So you're popping the hips, but it doesn't have to be so hard, okay? So it's here, pop, here, pop, here, pop. You got it, bro. Okay?
Cindy, stop watching. Stop watching, hon.
So it's very similar to our culture.
Dang it, why'd you hook me, man? Now I'm hooked, man. Now I'm hooked.
No, when
That's
you
so
have the
simple.
music, now you can feel it. So
I don't like we're still on a live shit.
sorry, c'est too low lava.
See, live TV, you never know what's gonna happen. If you think you can do better, sign up with my cousin's class. I apologize. It's live TV. You never know what happens. All right. Like we always say on Everyday People, if we can help one person, we're doing our job. And like we always like to say, please be kind. I love you, cousin. Any last words?
I would just say, last thing here, just to get across, is just to be your authentic self. Don't let anybody tell you who you should be, because that's basically what's been, my life. People was like, oh, you do that? Listen, do what you're happy. Do what makes you happy, and be authentic.
Words to live by. Thank you, cousin.
All right, man.
Love you. Don't
Okay.
forget it, Howard. All right.
Love you too, cuz.
We'll see you guys on Friday for
really
Everyday
is my
People.
cousin, though.
No, we really are cousins. Glad you didn't tell those other stories. All right.
All right.
Bye. See you guys on Friday.
See you later.
They always know right where to find me. From the Canyon Rocks to the dive bar off 65. Never far behind. Lonely won't leave me alone. Run until I run out of road. Heart, it just keeps tagging along. It don't matter if I'm here or gone. There ain't a city and a town that I don't feel you around. Hiding in the haze of a cigarette smoke, or at the bottom of my whiskey coke. Lonely won't leave me alone. Swear I see you in that township.